All right, iMates are definitely not the most straightforward process to go through, but I do believe that there is much value in being able to use the iMates as far as being able to have predictable constraints and uh, being able to replicate things in a predictable manner. So I'm going to take a little time and kind of explain this out. And what I'm going to use the composites as well. The iMate composites are what's best used whenever you're going to have a group of iMates functioning together. In other words, maybe multiple mates. So let's take a look at it. Right here, I am going to be joining a utility pole with some parts that are going to hold cable. These vangs, which they're called, that go across through here. So I'm going to divide the shaft and the vangs into two parts. We're going to call the shaft the parent part, and we're going to call the vang here, we're going to call that the child part. I'm going to go ahead and close that one out and get a new vang here. Since we already have three of the others already installed, I'm going to pull in my number 4 vang, and I'll start off with the parent. Now, right here, I have a naming scheme that I'm going to use all laid out. And I've done this for more than one reason. Any slight error is going to cause the iMates or the iMate composite just not to work properly. So therefore, by writing everything out, writing out the parent and the child and everything and having all my nomenclature correct where I can see it, I find doing the cutting and pasting to be just much more reliable when building the iMates. So let's take a look at what I have here for my 4th vang, looking at the parent model first. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to highlight the name that I have for the first iMate, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over here and in the Manage tab, I'm going to go to iMate and I'm going to put the name down. Now this name is rather significant. I'll break it down for you in what I've used. I am calling this the 4th one. This one is the one that is actually going to sit on top. The two of them, one sits on top, one sits on bottom. Of course, this is going to change according to your needs and whatever you may have it. But I've also named which plane they're going to go on as well, and then what two parts are being joined. So this is also a plane. This little abbreviation is telling me that this is going to go on the Vang 4 plane, and that whenever in the part itself, it's going to go on the 180 plane. These are just names that I've given them. But the reason I've done this is I want a descriptive name so I can know where I'm going with this. Now, you also see this tab here that says matching. What you want to do is you want to make sure that these two match because we're going to give the same name to the parent and the child. Let's go ahead and paste that in here. Now, you'll have to experiment for your purposes, but what's going to work best on mine, I need a flush mate here. So basically, when you're doing iMates, you're doing 1/2 of a constraint. So I am doing the half that is going in the parent right now. And now I'm going to identify the plane that's going to be mated here, and I'm going to be doing a horizontal mate here. So I'm going to find this Vang 4 plane that I've built here, and you'll see it shows up right there. So that's where that's going to go in the parent. So I'm going to continue placing the iMates in the parent, and I basically just want to secure this Vang in there. So now I'm going to copy over this name that I've created, give it its match. And this one happens to work better when I use the mate rather than the flush mate. And I can see here that in the parent, I'm going to this plane that I've created called northeast southwest. That's kind of an angled plane. So you can see it right there when I highlight it, and I can apply it. We'll go ahead to the next one, which is going to secure my Vang in its middle. Copy that over. Give it its mate, or its match, I should say. And that one also needs to be a flush mate. As I said, this may vary for what your purposes are. This one is going to be mated right in here to the northwest southeast plane. And then I can apply that. Now, to be able to make this a composite mate, you'll see that I have these three right here. All I need to do is select them. Give it a right click here and I'll create the composite, and you'll see that it has created the iComposite. But to make sure that things work smoothly, I am going to go ahead and give it a unique name. And then at this time, I'm also going to pick, kind of thinking ahead to the future here. When I right click on here and go to the properties and use this drop down, I can also match it to the other composite, which I haven't built yet, but this is going to be the name of it. So you see these two composites have to have different names. So I'm going to be matching the parent to the child. All right, that's set up. And just for organizational purposes, I'm going to drag this up here to where it's sitting with the other vangs. Let's go on over to the child here. And we will replicate the same process that we just did. Copying over, Manage tab, pasting in the names. Notice, remember, they are the same names. This one does need to be flush. And we're going to be mating that one in here. You'll see that this goes to the 180 plane. So let's open up there where I named this the 180 plane. Apply that. Going into the second mate. This one is going to be a regular mate. Paste that in, and I see this one is going to be on the plate center. Apply it. My next one is going to be a flush. If you notice, I'm keeping these mates consistent. On the parent, it was flush mate flush, and on this one, I'm going to keep it flush mate flush as well. Another advantage to doing this, this always shows you the last one that you've used. So it kind of helps you keep things in order. And putting in a match here. And let's go ahead and pick that plane, and we'll see that that is the 9270 plane. That's going to go in right there. And apply that. So if I open up the iMATES here, you'll see that I have the three mates that I just created. Let's go ahead and get the name for that, and we're going to call that the Vang4TC, which is basically kind of pointing out that this is the child mate. I'm going to create the composite, rename that with my unique name. I'm going to go over and copy the name for its match. I want to match it over to the parent. Right click this over. Oh, kind of stuck there. All right. And drop that down. And we're going to match the child to the parent. And now we have that matched. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And make sure that my shaft is saved. We're going to go into the assembly environment, and I'm going to go ahead and place in my number 4 Vang, and make sure that that little button right there is pushed on to where it's going to automatically generate my iMate. And as you'll see, it has thrown it exactly in place just where I want it. All right, so if you follow those steps, you should have no trouble being able to use your iMATES and composite iMATES to be able to make your constraints a little bit more predictable in any assembly that you happen to create. Thanks for watching.